We're back just like we promised, Ryan. And guess what? UConn Huskies women's basketball is back in action. I can't believe it. I think you called an eye on the game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we want to shout out to the Hartford Current because guess what? They finally, and they may have last year, I'm not too sure, but we're finally starting to see more of the media coverage. And this game did not even count, right? Exhibition game, but we're starting to see media coverage all over the team, and we love it. All right. We absolutely love it. We want to see that for not only this team, but all of women's basketball. Spread the word, right, Ryan? And we're back to recap the exhibition game. Did not count, but hey, Phil and Ryan is still wearing a big smile on their face. Ryan, I know I was rolling with Dorka Uhas for the early off season, but now I think I'm starting to roll with as far as Azzi Fudd. I get it, small school, Kutztown exhibition game, but look, man, as I was going over this recap, oh my goodness, tell me what you thought about Azzi Fudd showing off in this big game. I saw where she had. I'll get to it in a second here while you go, and then tell me about Lou Lopez in the starting lineup, like Phil predicted.
Yeah, I mean, just an amazing all-around game, and really, as a fan and a player, coaches couldn't ask for more out of the UConn Huskies today. Started their season off with an absolute bang, even though, like we mentioned, it doesn't count towards wins or losses. Answered a lot of questions, got a lot of answers from this game, and one of those, like you mentioned, was the starting lineup. Now, of course, Caroline Ducharme was held out just as a precaution, I believe, dealing with neck stiffness leading up to the game. So they held her out. So that left the door open for Lou Lopez to get the starting bid, along with Azzi, Nika, Aaliyah, and Dorka. And Lou Lopez had an amazing game. But I want to start off with Azzi Fudd, like you mentioned, scored 23 out of her 29 points in the second half, 9 3-pointers. Got off to a little bit of a slow start, but once she heats up, just like Paige Beckers, but once Azzi Fudd heats up, there's really not much you can do to stop her from scoring the ball when she shoots. But just an amazing shooting and scoring performance from really all the Huskies. 5 of them had double-digit scoring in today's game, but Azzi Fudd, they're going to need her scoring all season long. If they want to keep on winning games just like they did today. Lou Lopez as well showed off her skills in her debut with the UConn Huskies today, scoring 22 points. Dorka Uhas as well, returning for her final season. I'm going to be sad to see her leave after this season's over, but she didn't disappoint today. Very efficient, scoring the ball and shooting the ball for UConn. Aaliyah Edwards as well, entering her 3rd season with UConn. And just like Dorka, she was efficient with the ball, showed toughness down low, some of which we didn't see last season. And she wasn't really that efficient in some of her games when she was getting the ball down there, missing open shots. But Dorka and Aaliyah were very efficient today. They got some rebounds. And not last but not least, one of my favorite players on this team, Nika Mule, perhaps the most impactful player on the court when she's playing. Reigning defensive Big East defensive player for a reason. Her energy is outmatched. Her presence on the court, defensive presence for sure, is felt by everybody. And her toughness is just an added bonus. But not trying to read the box score, but just listen to this: 7 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds, 5 steals, and 2 blocks. We all know Nika. She's not going to score a lot of points for this team, but I think she's going to be the X factor all season long. Just when I watch her play, she just makes me so excited. You can just feel her energy, and it's just incredible the effort that she shows each and every game. It just means so much for the team. And if she can keep this up, especially from the defensive side, we saw it all last season. It's just so important for this team.
I'm going to tell you this right now. We may have said this. I know we just said it at the beginning of this recap. Well, Ryan, man, this game doesn't count. It's just exhibition. It's just preseason. They get one chance. All right. One chance as far as preseason. A lot of other sports, They get more than one game, more than one exhibition game where it doesn't count, right? So I think this is actually really a critical point, a critical time in this program coming into the 22-23 season. You might ask yourself why, because I don't care whether the coaching staff or the head coach plans for one player on this whole roster. I don't care if they plan on that one player, whoever that is, to sit on the bench and just be a sub, not touch the ball for, I guess you would go with the freshman in this case, not touch the ball for an entire season unless they have to in the regular season, which I don't think in this roster is loaded. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
But if you already have the starting five and then your subs behind them, if you plan on not giving any playing time at all to any specific player on this roster, so be it. That's up to you. But this game is very important, Ryan, because you got to put the ball in every player's hands. At least 30 seconds, 50 seconds, a minute. Everybody, that's why I think this game is so important. Everybody touched the basketball today. All right. And that's what I think is because you might tell yourself, well, it doesn't really matter, Phil, a month from now, 2 months from now, if they sit on the bench all that time, it doesn't really matter. Oh, it matters. Oh, it matters because guess what? The talk mixed with the practice, all right, mixed with the game time that you saw, and you're not two, not three, not four, but just one exhibition game, all right? And that, to me, actually, Ryan, that kind of bothers me a little bit, and you can give me your opinion if you like. I think maybe two at least. Now, again, we're talking about the UConn Huskies, but I'm talking about for smaller schools, any ones that are trying to step their game up a little bit. Kind of bothers me one exhibition game, but you can speak about that. But anyhow, but again, what I took out of this today, no, I didn't watch it, but hey, again, shout out to the Hartford for actually covering the game because it helps us out a lot more for these recaps. I really, to be honest with you, I think it is very important. I had a big smile on my face when I saw about Lou Lopez. She impressed today in the debut. And when I saw the name Azzi Fudd, because those two right there, and again, no disrespect to any other of these ladies on the roster, but man, you just have to believe, especially with some of the negative comments that we've been receiving for the past months and months during this offseason, Ryan, you got to believe if they get an impactful player out of Lou Lopez and then paired with Azzi Fudd, who is supposed to be one of the best in the country, man, look, I'm starting to believe that confidence level is starting to shoot through the roof, kind of like the movie Elf, kind of like when everybody started to believe in Santa, it just went through the roof. So, man, I'm telling you, man, look, man, I was so down. Paige Beckers is out, Ryan. Hey, look, I understand, man. This is Kutztown. I get it. But, man, you got to understand it's on now. It's game on now.
Well, you just said it a little bit there, and that's one of the points I was going to bring up. It doesn't count, but it really does count for the team because it's such a boost of confidence, and it's a boost. It boosts everybody's energy level so much, especially when you score 115 points. And with them being out without Caroline Ducharme as well, but scoring 115 points, the defensive effort everybody had today was pretty good, in my opinion, all the way around. Obviously, the offense was pretty good, but being efficient with the basketball, I think that's one of the most important things I saw as well today. Everybody was pretty efficient scoring. And I mean, Ayanna Patterson as well. She had a pretty good game, 10 points, 10 rebounds, but I think Ayanna and also Amari DeBerry, they're going to be two very important players for me coming off the bench. They might not start any games unless we have, God forbid, any more injuries. But Amari and Ayanna. I think they're going to be two very impactful players coming off the bench all season long for UConn. Ayanna Patterson, I think Gino's going to ask a lot out of her as a freshman, but I think she can do it. She showed a little bit of what she's capable of today. But if those two players can come off the bench for when Dorka and Aaliyah need to come off to get some rest, those are two really big players that are gonna they showed they can get the job done today, and they had some pretty impactful minutes. Also, Aubrey Griffin as well. She's another player that can come off the bench, but I think Amari will probably get a couple more minutes than her, but we'll just have to see. Ines Betancourt as well. She got a couple minutes. I don't believe she's going to really have that big of an impact this season. We'll have to see, but I don't really expect her to get that many minutes. But Ayanna, Amari, and also Aubrey, I think those are going to be three big players coming off the bench. But like you said, everybody getting minutes is so big. And it's just a great overall performance. It boosts everybody's energy, confidence, and now they're ready to go. They're ready for this their first game on November 14th.
And how about time for some comments? Not that many, Ryan, so we can get out of here and get you. You're right, and get set up for maybe a couple more videos this week, and then the last check-in. Our first last check-in of the season. That's right. Is back. Iva goes. So we already know that next number to retire is number 10. Sue wore that number at UConn, and now she retired from professional basketball. And in next couple of years, she will be in the Hall of Fame. Okay, so not number 5 yet, Ryan. Not number 5. We had to wait for that time to come. So I guess number 10 next.
Well, I would completely agree with that, but I mean, just surprised me with how many legendary players the UConn's had on the women's side over the years. Only 2 numbers are retired there, but of course, I guess you can't retire all the numbers because I guess they wouldn't have too many to choose from. Them.
Why don't you give head coach a call tomorrow and tell him he needs to retire more numbers?
Yeah, retire more numbers. But yeah, Sue Bird, such an amazing player for UConn, battled through the injury season and came back with Tarasi and had amazing seasons. And of course, we all know what an impact she had all of her seasons, of 20 seasons, I believe she was with Seattle. Just an amazing player. But yeah, so many historic and legendary players to play with the UConn Huskies program.
How about Jason D'Amico? What's up, brother? We appreciate all of your support. We appreciate you commenting over and over again. Please keep it up so we have discussions for the whole entire season, the new season, Ryan, coming up. Hello from Maryland, Jason. And you said, I wish I had the confidence that a lot of others have with this year's team. But the fact remains that this team is still plagued by injuries, and they are going to be relying on freshmen to get the job done. It's not that I'm doubting their abilities. I just don't see this team having the maturity, health, and the all-around skill sets that are required to be number 1. I hope I'm wrong, fellas. Peace. Well, 2 things, Ryan, very quickly, because I know it's your job to go over these comments after I read them. But Jason, I agree with him in one sense, but then again, I'm shaking my head because this comment was posted before the first exhibition game today, obviously. All right. And then my second point to you, Ryan, we talked about it over and over again, especially in March. You don't have to be seated number 1. I mean, and again, we're starting to see that trend in a lot of sports leagues where the number 1s are starting to choke.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. But of course, we all expect UConn to obviously be in March Madness. And I think a lot of people make a big deal out of the new AP poll every week. I don't really pay attention to any of that stuff. But as long as you just go game by game and get your win, that's what's important. But I kind of do disagree with them in the sense that UConn's going to rely on freshmen this year. Like I mentioned, I don't really expect Ines to get that many minutes. Ayanna Patterson.
Mhm.
That's really the only freshman that I really see getting a lot of minutes off the bench.
Yeah.
Of course, with ice going down, that only leaves Ayanna Patterson as the only remaining freshman. So
Mhm.
I agree with Ayanna getting a lot of minutes, but I don't really think the UConn's going to have to necessarily rely on the freshman this season to get the job done. Dorka's been obviously only here for her second season, but she has 4 years under her belt of experience. Of course, Lou Lopez has a lot of experience bringing to UConn, and she had an amazing game today. And Azzi Fudd as well in her second season. But Caroline, I think UConn's good on the experience level. And of course, Paige is going to be alongside them, and Gino has all the experience that you need. So I think UConn's going to be okay on the experience level. And of course, obviously, I'm sure after he saw the game today, I hope his confidence was raised a little bit.
Well, and we will stop it right there, Ryan, and we will have the last check-in, the first last check-in later this week as we gear up for UConn women's basketball. And it just so happens to be, Ryan, that Northeastern, their school mascot is also the Huskies. So how many times do you see that? Thursday, November the 10th. You have the Huskies, and I can't recall ever seeing this. The Huskies at the Huskies.
Yeah, that's not gonna that's not gonna happen too many times. Battle of the Huskies.
Battle of the Huskies, Northeastern and number 6 UConn, Ryan. And you know, it's I want to actually get into the conversation of the preview of this game so bad, but we won't. We'll stop right there. Ryan, the exhibition game is wrapped up. And just like that, we are ready for the regular season to return. Phil and Rye. Oh, what time is it, Ryan? 1:15? No, it's 5:38. 1:15 again. 1:15 to 42. Final score. UConn routes Kutztown. And Ryan, you better listen up. Phil and Rye right here on Listen Up.